worth it to see in person.
Alrighty. Good morning, everybody, and welcome once again
Welcome
to
Castillo de San Marcos, National Monument, Florida.
10:30 musket firing demonstration. This morning, we're going to be demonstrating a pair of flintlock muskets for you, as our Spanish soldiers would have carried here around the year 1740. That is the year that we are portraying. That was the time period when the fort came under siege for the second time. Now, the flintlock musket we're going to be demonstrating for you was the firearm of the day. A musket means that it is a muzzle-loading weapon. That means that the outer shot is going to go to the weapon. The flintlock refers to the firing mechanism of the weapon. Here you have a small piece of stone called flint held by a metal jaw. When the trigger is pulled, that is going to come forward, strike a piece of steel, creating a spark. That spark is going to be what ignites the gunpowder and hopefully sends the musket ball off towards its target. We say hopefully because there are a number of things that can go wrong. If there's high wind, if there's too much humidity, that can cause problems for these weapons that would have to be addressed. And that's something that was historically accurate as well. Now, a well-trained soldier in the 18th century is going to be able to load and fire their musket in about 20 seconds. The average time, of course, being much slower, of 30 seconds. Extraordinarily well-trained soldiers, and I have personally witnessed this, are able to load and fire their muskets in approximately 6 seconds. So much slower than modern firearms, but not quite as slow as we often think. And these muskets were integral to the defense of the Castillo de San Marcos. If you've been around the gun deck up here, you might have noticed that in certain places we have steps leading up to the walls. Those were known as firing steps. Those were there so that the soldiers could get above the height of the crenellations of the wall to fire down at any attacking enemies. Now, what we're going to do for you this morning is we're going to demonstrate these muskets. We're going to fire 2 shots. The first shot, we're going to go through the entire drill manual as it existed in 1740. This was the method that the soldiers used to train. They had to memorize every single individual step that was required to load and fire their weapons. This is going to be much slower as we go through each of those steps. The second shot that we're going to do for you, we're going to simulate battlefield conditions. Because, of course, on the battlefield, you don't have time to go through every individual step, wait for the order to be given before you move on to the next thing. It's also very loud, so hearing all of those orders is quite difficult. So the second one will be much quicker as we simulate how they would have done things in battle. Now, a couple of quick safety things to go over for you today. These muskets are going to be loud. They're not terribly loud. That being said, if you have a hearing aid or similar device, I'd highly recommend turning it down or taking it out of your ears. Also, we will warn you before we fire the muskets each time. There will be plenty of warning. So there's no need at this point to stand here with your hand in your ear, covering yourself like this. That's going to get really uncomfortable after a while. Your ear is going to get sore. Your arm is going to get tired. So I promise you we'll warn you before you fire. You don't need to do that. The more important thing to keep in mind, the walls of the Castillo de San Marcos here will be turning 350 years old this October.
Thank you.
It is also almost 40 feet down to the bottom. So to ensure that these walls stand for another 350 years, and to make sure that we don't have to stop the demonstration because somebody fell, please do not sit, stand, climb, lay, or otherwise be on the walls themselves. If you feel like you're not getting a good view, my recommendation, go down over there towards where that flag is. Those folks over there, they've got one of the best views in the house. And that goes for anybody who's not in the first couple rows right here. That's my recommendation. Last thing that you all need to know, I myself am a park ranger. That means that I work here at the Castillo de San Marcos. This is my job. The other gentlemen with me up here are 2 of our wonderful volunteers. They're giving us their time and their expertise so that we can put on this demonstration for all of you. So let's go ahead and give them a round of applause, and we'll get ourselves started. Once the demonstration is finished, we'll make the weapons safe, and we'll take down the ropes. Anybody who wants to come over and get a closer look and take pictures will be more than able to do so. Thank you.
No way.
Andresa, Emilia, welcome. Commander Andresa Alarma. Return las armas. Pongo la llave en el fiador. That's half clock. Limpa la piedra. Soap on the cazoletto. Blow out the pan. Second up position. Yeah, 250 men do it at the same time. It's going to echo across the battlefield. Open up position. Tear open the curtain. Soldiers had to have 14 on the top. Put it on the same plate to be able to tear it. Save it. Put some powder in the pan. Sear the cazoletto. Close the pan. Pass on this armas the ladder is scared of. Wrap it to the left side. Meten al cartucho and cañón. Load with cartridge.
6 minutes.
Saca navigata. No cancerino. Alto navigata. Corta navigata. Meta navigata nel cañón. Attack. Turn navigata. Alto navigata. Corta navigata. Meta navigata in su lugar. Don't put it away, you can't fire again. You have to push that ball all the way down. Vamos, Alejandro. Commander derecho alarma. Altas las armas. Presenten las armas. Preparing las armas. That's 1 o'clock. Apunten. Point. Cover your ears. Disparate. Turn las armas. Armas suspensión.
Done?
And then while they're shooting at you, you have to load it again.
Yeah, that's why there's a lot of soldiers
What
died
they
like
just
that.
did is check to make sure all of that round was gone before they load a second one in. So now they're going to use the battle drill. Monitoration las armas. Return las armas. Now this is the position if they had just fired and they drop it down, they'd go right ahead into this next command, which is to load and put it on the shoulder. You want to do the last few commands so that everyone's firing about at the same time. You're bound to hit something that way. Cargan!
They're very stressful, the pressure.
Rate of fire is determined by the slowest soldier. Because you want to all fire together.
You're gonna be died quick because you're gonna be loaded.
Monitoring las armas. Retiring las armas. Preparing las armas. Apunten. Cover your ears. Dispara. Fire. All right. Out of 4 shots, we had only 1 misfire. That's not too bad. He's going to try to find out what happened. The steel could be dirty. The flint could be loose. It might not hit properly, or the sparks could have even been blown away by the wind. So he's going to check his weapon, see what's